So today we're going to dive deep into the hidden side of the human psyche. We're talking about the shadowy art of influence that, believe it or not, is happening all around us, just beneath the surface. Let's pull back that curtain, shall we?
Have you ever wondered about this? Really thought about it? You've probably met someone who can just talk anyone into anything. Or maybe you've watched a situation unfold and just been baffled by how one person seems to have all the power. It can feel like some kind of magic, but I promise you it's not. It's actually a field of study.
And that field has a name: dark psychology. At its core, it's all about understanding and then exploiting the little vulnerabilities in our own minds. Our emotions, our biases, our deep-seated need to connect with others. This is psychology flipped on its head, used not for healing, but for control.
Just look at the difference here. It's night and day, really. Traditional therapy, that's all about empathy, support, building you up. But dark psychology, its methods are deception and exploitation with the end goal of pure, simple control. The goals are complete opposites.
Okay, before we go any further, it is absolutely crucial that you understand this. This knowledge is a tool. Just like a hammer can build a house or tear it down. We are not here to teach you how to manipulate. We're here to arm you, to give you the knowledge you need to recognize these tactics and, most importantly, defend yourself against them. So where did all this even come from? Well, these ideas are definitely not new. In fact, they're as old as human conflict itself, as old as the quest for power. Let's take a quick trip back in time and trace how these concepts evolved from ancient battlefields to modern science labs. Think about this. More than 2,000 years ago, the legendary strategist Sun Tzu wrote this down: all warfare is based on deception. He knew, even then, that the most important battles are won not on the field, but in the mind. And that single principle, it's really the ancient bedrock of dark psychology. And you can see this idea evolving through history. After Sun Tzu, it pops up in Machiavelli's famously cold advice for rulers. Then, in the 20th century, Sigmund Freud's work on the unconscious mind basically gave us a map of all the hidden buttons we have that can be pushed. This all leads up to 2002, when modern psychology finally puts a name to the personality traits that are often behind it all. And that name is the Dark Triad. Now, this isn't some official diagnosis you get from a doctor. It's a trio of personality traits that often show up together. You've got narcissism, which is that deep-seated need for admiration and a lack of empathy. Then there's Machiavellianism, seeing other people as just pawns in your own game. And finally, psychopathy, which is marked by a chilling lack of remorse. You put those three together, and you have the psychological engine for some serious manipulation. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but I would never fall for something like that, right? Well, let me tell you about the famous Milgram experiment. In this study, 65% of regular, everyday people were willing to give what they thought were lethal electric shocks to another person, simply because a guy in a lab coat told them to. That's how powerful our instinct to obey authority is. And it's a core vulnerability that manipulators absolutely love to exploit. Okay, so that's the history and the psychology behind it. But what are the actual tactics? What's inside the manipulator's toolkit? Let's open it up and break down some of the most common and effective techniques you're likely to encounter. All right, we're going to break down 5 key strategies straight from their playbook. We'll look at the reality-bending power of gaslighting, the vicious emotional cycle of love bombing, and the incredibly subtle art of mirroring that's used to create instant and totally false trust. Let's start with a really nasty one: gaslighting. This is an incredibly insidious form of psychological abuse. By constantly denying reality, saying things like, "that never happened," or the classic, "you're just overreacting," a manipulator slowly chips away at your confidence, in your own mind, in your own sanity. And when you don't trust yourself, you become so much easier to control. Next up is a tactic that's like a 2-act play. It's called love bombing. Act 1 is this whirlwind of affection and attention. You're showered with praise. You're made to feel like the most special person on the planet. But then comes Act 2, the sudden, cold withdrawal of all that affection. This emotional roller coaster is designed to create a powerful dependency, leaving you desperate to do anything to get that warmth back. Now, mirroring is way more subtle. This one is almost invisible if you don't know what to look for. A skilled manipulator will subtly copy your posture, the rhythm of your speech, maybe even your breathing rate. This is not an accident. It's a calculated move to create a powerful and completely fake sense of rapport. It makes you lower your guard because you get this weird feeling you've known them forever. So these tactics, they aren't just for spy movies or crime novels. They show up everywhere. Let's take a look at where these principles are put into action out in the real world, from the high-stakes environment of cults all the way down to the clicks you make on your screen. You just have to look for the patterns here. Cults use isolation to control what you see and hear. Ponzi schemes build up this false sense of trust to prey on greed. That phishing email in your inbox, it uses fear and a sense of urgency to make you click before you think. The arena changes, but the core psychological game is exactly the same. And it gets even closer to home. We're talking about the boss who uses guilt trips to make you work late, the partner who uses those emotional highs and lows to keep you constantly off balance, even the algorithm on your phone, which is literally designed to exploit your brain's need for validation to keep you scrolling. It really is everywhere. Now, I get it. Hearing all of this, it's easy to start feeling a little paranoid. But the goal here isn't fear, it's empowerment. Because understanding these tactics is, without a doubt, your single best defense. Think of this knowledge as your shield. So how do you use that shield? Well, it starts with step 1, simply recognizing the tactics we've just talked about. Step 2, trust your instincts. That gut feeling you have, if something feels off, it probably is. Step 3 is to stay vigilant, especially in situations that are emotionally charged. And finally, step 4, never, ever be afraid to seek professional help if you feel like you're in over your head. And let me be absolutely crystal clear on one final point. The purpose of sharing all this is education, not encouragement. This kind of knowledge comes with a profound responsibility to use it ethically, to use it for awareness and self-defense, and nothing more. So, we'll leave you with this thought. You've now had a peek inside the manipulator's toolkit. You've seen the hidden strings of influence that can pull and shape our world. The only question left is, now that you know, how will you see the world differently?